Hey, Shalom Yahaba Shem Yahushai Barakathum to all the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Salaki. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Ilathaba Shem Yahushai to all the sisters. This is the ISUPK side of the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander John Yohana. Understanding today is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. All right. So, like last week, we were supposed to have this class last week doing Remember Who You Were. But we finished up the topic that we had the week before that. You understand? But mind you, it'll still flow together. You understand? Because understanding or remembering who you are basically also covers the class that we went over. The last 2 weeks with the fact that the law is not done and over with, right? So now with us remembering who we are, just a quick little touch on what we're going to be going over today. You remembering who you are is, part of that is you remembering that the law is only for you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand that this Bible is only for you. You understand? Salvation is only for you. You understand? These things are it's only for our people. You understand? And with that being said, that lets us know, that should let you know that you should be separate, because that is what the Bible says all throughout. You understand? All right, here we go. Got my notes there. All right. So now, before we actually get into the topic, got my notes prepared. You know what I'm saying? We all set with the notes. I'm just going to ask that everybody make sure that they do their part, make sure that they like and share the class. You understand? Make sure that you go onto our YouTube, ISUPK Nevada, and make sure that you subscribe and hit the little bell sign. You understand? So then that way, I'm just liking and sharing myself. Make sure that you go onto our YouTube page, ISUPK Nevada. Make sure that you subscribe to the page and then hit the little bell. You understand? Because we are doing interviews out here on the streets. We're posting new content and whatnot. You understand? Not just the classes, and so that y'all can stay, up to date with the things that we are, what's going on out here, on how we're trying to build, our nation and our school out here in Las Vegas. You're basically able to watch us grow, on YouTube. So make sure that you hit that bell sign so that you can see all the work that we've been putting in. And then, hell, Lord allow motivates you to want to come into class your damn self and take part in laying in your brick. You understand? Also, let's not forget Facebook, ISUPK Las Vegas. Make sure that you like the page. All right. Do your part to make sure that you like and share all of these videos, anything that's ISUPK. You understand? It's imperative that we all do our part to spread this word out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? And social media is such a beautiful tool, because the thing is everybody has got buku friends on their Facebook. Probably don't even talk to any of them. But the crazy thing about that is there could be somebody on your friends list you never even talked to, right? And you like and share a class, and that person, is one of them people who is just like, man, I really want to change my life for the better. As a black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman, the only way that they can actually do so, quite frankly, is by following the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Obeying the Most High God. And the only place that you can actually learn how to do that is in the ISUPK under Commander John Yohana. So it is very important that we all do our part to like and share these classes. You understand? That's why every class we always make sure that, and it's not just, Officer Rock's class or just Officer Shabal's class, or, just anything Las Vegas. We're saying anything that's got the ISUPK, make sure that you like and share those classes. You understand? It is important, because you know what? Just like what the title of our class is today, our people don't, we don't remember who we are. That's why we're in the condition that we are as a nation currently, getting shot dead in the streets. You understand? It don't make the news as much, But, you know, our Hispanic brothers, our Native American brothers, they get shot dead just as often, if not, you know, more, give or take more or less, as, you know, the so-called black man does. They just don't get news time. You can look that up, man. Little 14-year-old, 13-year-old boys. I can't remember the Israelite brother's name, but, you know, he got shot dead in the street because it was something along the lines of like he was just playing with his friends, and the police showed up for some other call and basically just pinned it on him and shot little man. You understand? We as a nation suffer from the same curses. You understand? And part of one of the biggest curses that afflicts all of us, and which is why we have such inequity, but also, you know, we have so many issues with just being mistreated, being treated less than we are, is because of the fact we lack the knowledge of who we are. We lack the knowledge of how we're supposed to act in any land. You understand? We forget who we are. You understand? That's why, you know, like I said, we getting shot dead in these streets. You understand? Don't matter what age you are. It don't matter if you're awake or if you're asleep. You understand? Hell, they're locking us up in cages. Y'all think that these, you know, they're called reservations. Y'all think, you know, it's really reserved for the Native American man? If it was really reserved for the so-called Native American man and woman, you know what would happen? You know what would actually happen? The American government would never touch or push back those borders of what the reservation is. You understand? It's reserved for a reason. You know what? The crazy thing is they're not pulling back on they're not pushing the borders back on those reservations for what are they called? The animal and forest reservations for like the state parks and stuff like that, so that, you know, farmers can have more land and basically expand their land, or so that they can run pipeline, oil pipelines and gas lines and this, that, and the other, you understand, across the country, so that they can make more of a dollar. They're not doing that to national reservations for the doggone the animals. You understand? Which is the crazy thing. The crazy thing about that is they lock us up in cages like animals. Just ask the so-called Mexican man, or biblically the Israelite brothers and sisters, man, how they were breastfeeding through. A woman had to breastfeed her baby through a goddamn gate because they was locking our people up in cages. You understand? All of this comes from the fact that we decided to forget who we were. We decided to not follow the law, statutes, and commandments. We decided not to obey the Most High God, and we wanted to be equal with everybody else. You understand? Now, all of this can be set right where the right side is up, and we are no longer upside down. Because quite frankly, right now we upside down, where the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. But you know how you flip it right side back up? Is simply, first of all, y'all stay in these classes, you understand? But you understand, you obey the Most High God. That's why these classes are so important. That's why we always make sure to let y'all know, to remind y'all, man, make sure that y'all like and share these classes so that we can build our people back up. You understand? So we don't have to be in this condition any longer. You understand? We do these classes in the ISUPK because we love our people. You understand? So I have done my part with my liking and sharing. I pray that y'all finish up yours. You understand? So that my little quick little speech about us remembering ourselves and whatnot doesn't pass in vain. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get into the class that I had prepared for y'all. I hate how it messes up my bookmark. Hold on, let's lock it. Get back to my bookmark and then we'll start. All right. And before we start, if there's anybody online that has any questions, you understand, feel free to post your questions online. You understand? Asking questions in the ISUPK is encouraged. It's damn near a requirement. You understand? We do not these classes are to edify our people. You understand? So y'all need to be asking these questions so that you can learn how you're supposed to be moving in this captivity. You understand? Because quite frankly, the Christian church, the Catholic churches, these other, the Muslim mosques, all these other, worldly ass religions and whatnot, useless, false religions, they have us thinking otherwise, that we can live like this and do that, which is not the case. You understand? Now, thing about it is, in the ISUPK, if we don't know, we're not going to sit there and shuck and jive and do a little dance, tell you something in your ear that make you feel good, make me look like I know everything that I'm talking about. If I don't know the answer, I will let you know, and I will take that question that you had that I wasn't able to answer myself and go and ask a mightier man than myself and get you the answer. You understand? And this is ISUPK all across the board. You understand? We all follow that, that same that same guideline. If we don't know, we're not gonna see. We'll go get the answer. We ain't gonna we're not gonna BS our way through it. You understand? So yeah, if y'all got any questions, man, post it online in the chat. If I'm unable to answer it myself scripturally, like I said, I'll take it to a mightier man than myself. Go get you the answer, and then we'll either bring it out on the Thursday scripture breakdown class, Officer 5000 Shabal, and or I'll bring it out on my following Tuesday Brotherhood class. Y'all understand? All right, so let's go ahead and let's get this started. We're gonna start at the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21. You understand? And this verse right here goes very well with literally what I just said about, the Christian churches and how we go about answering questions and whatnot in the ISUPK. You understand? We're going to start off at the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. 1 second. Hold on. All right. So this is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21. All right. Like I said, this goes perfect with my little spiel about, we're not, if we don't know, we're not just going to say it. You understand? But of course, because this is the topic of today's class is for you to remember who you are. You understand? Obviously, this is one of them verses that is manifold, manifold. You understand? It can be applied to numerous different things, right? The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 21. Prove all things. Prove all things, man. Don't be, like how some people would just be on the interweb just talking about, oh yeah, I don't know. Like, let's say, for example, there's a bunch of people on Facebook that always like to talk about, what the dietary law is going to be like, what our diet is going to be like when we go into the kingdom, right? Some people try to say that you can't eat seaweed because it is a living creature in the water that does not have scales and fins. This is basically their argument, right? Which is false. There is no vegetation that is unlawful. You understand? Then you understand they try to say that in the kingdom we will never eat meat again, but they cannot actually prove these verses out of the Bible to prove that there's any unlawful vegetation, or that, take for example, we got the Passover coming up April 1st. You understand? In Raleigh, New York. Make sure that y'all are there. But at every Passover, it is the law for everyone to participate in eating of the lamb. We all have to eat lamb, and we all have to eat of the unleavened bread. So if that is supposed to be something that is to be kept forever for all of our generations, at what part are we supposed to be just how you say vegetarians. You understand? It's people just say anything and everything. They think that they're better than everybody else because I don't kill animals. Yeah, animals kill animals. Like who give a damn? If the Lord said that this animal is clean and you can eat it, you goddamn Skippy, I'm probably gonna eat it. I can't think of any clean animal meat that I wouldn't eat. You understand? I want to try a giraffe. Y'all know that giraffes is freaking lawful. You understand? They chew at the cud and they have, they split up the hoof. You understand? They follow that law of the criteria of being a clean, lawful animal to eat. You understand? One day I'll try it out. You understand? But you know what? You can't eat a zebra. You can't eat a horse. These things that you can find and prove these things. And it doesn't only just pertain to the Bible. You understand? This also pertains to, like, don't be one of them people that sit there and just run their mouth thinking, talking about football, but you only know basically the score system of football. You don't know anything else. You don't know anything about no players. You just basically ride in the bandwagon of everybody else. And that's just an opinionated topic. Ultimately, who gives a damn about football? But nonetheless, y'all get the point. It's something. I laid down one end of the spectrum, one end of the line of being the most serious, that being the laws, statutes, commandments, that being the Bible. You understand? And then the other end is an opinionated topic, an opinionated something that doesn't matter. So now you just take everything in between. Don't sit there and act like you just know everything. You understand? Don't sit there and act like you have something to say. And quite frankly, that's the crazy thing. If you have nothing to say, just don't say anything. That is a beautiful thing for somebody to know that I have nothing of value to say. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. You understand? That is a beautiful and powerful ability. And quite frankly, that is an ability that you can acquire. In fact, as long as you stay in these classes, you come into the fold of the ISUPK, you will learn that ability. You understand? Let's go ahead and read that from the top. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. Now, of course, we got to keep this on the topic, right? Topic being, remember who you are. You understand? So now peep this. Us knowing, let me actually Google it real quick, especially, that way we can get the actual year, give or take, right? Y'all know being called African American, being called black is, I think African American is younger than me. You understand? I've been here for almost 30 summers on this earth. I've been here almost for 30 summers. You understand? Give or take. And in other words, I've been on this earth for more summers than the so-called black man has been called African American. Let's go ahead and find out, when did the term African American start? No, okay, so it was black. It was black. So lucky being black. When did the term black start? Oop, where's it at? Still came up as African American, even though I put black. Start calling themselves. And if anybody online, if they have the answer, go ahead and put that in. Black coin. Keeps keeps giving me the wrong one. Cause I can't even remember dude's name who has said it. Who was it? 1988, December 21st, 1988. That's what this one is saying. Jesse Jackson. There we go. So okay, it's a little bit older than me. Salakia. So African American term is coined December 21st, 1988 by Jesse Jackson urges the use of the term African American. You understand? So us being called by that name is, what is that? 35 years old now? That's 35 years, yeah, 23. Yeah, so that's about 35 years old, right? So what were we called before that? You understand? Because, mind you, I understand a lot of people want to try to, they have our people, so-called blacks, have that affinity towards Africa. Oh no, we're Africans. We're the original man. You're not Africans. All right. Now, mind you as well, Africa wasn't always called Africa. Africa was named for Africanus, some Roman emperor or whatever, right? This you can look up on your Google machine, as John Hyman likes to say, right? These things can be, you can find out when those terms came about. So with that being said, what were we called before then? This is why it's so important to get into class in the ISUPK. You understand? So that you can learn what you was actually called before. As a collective, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is called the Israelites as a nation as a whole. You understand? But from there, I'm from the tribe of Judah. You understand? My father's a so-called Negro, which makes us so-called, not so-called, Salaki, which makes us Judites. You understand? From the house of Yahweh. You understand? Ban Yasha'Allah. You understand? Judah from the house of Israel. You understand? That is my identity. That is who I am. You understand? That is my nationality. You understand? That is who my family is, through the seed of which I come from, and the seed of which my children will come from, going forward, and my grandchildren and whatnot. You understand? These things can be proved within the Bible. And of course, it continues to say, hold fast that which is good. Man, when you tell the truth is something that is good. You sit here trying to say, oh yeah, no, we Africans. Oh, we, we're just West African. We're just this, that. Man, that shit ain't good. Because you know what? At the end of the day, everybody have migrated, we have migrated into West Africa. So you try to hold on to West Africa, Nigeria, things like that. It still don't tell you who you are. You do that stupid DNA test. Y'all seen on TikTok and Instagram where the dude bought that, what are they called? Like Family in Me or 21 or 22 in Me or whatever. Basically, you do the mouth swab, right? And you send off your DNA to the lab. Well, what the dude did was he did the mouth swab on his pet iguana, sent it out to the lab. They sent him the results, and man, it was saying that damn iguana was from Europe. It was from Africa. It was black. It was African and European. It had all sorts. Man, it was all over. It was all over the freaking world, in places, mind you, as well, where iguanas are not from, because typically an iguana requires a tropical climate. I'm a little bit of an animal nerd, so that's one of the little stupid fun facts that I be knowing about iguanas. But you understand, they require a tropical climate. In some of the places that was not like the Congo, you understand that iguana was supposedly from. So in other words, that doing that DNA test, when you do that, you're just wasting your money. But two, you still aren't proving that you're actually from there. You understand? You're not. Your genealogy doesn't come from there. But you know how you can prove that you are an Israelite? When you go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verses 16 through 68, and you see, oh, you know what? Me and my family, we suffer from these curses. You understand? My family came over on the slave Atlantic slave ships, right? Well, guess what? That's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. That's proof in itself. You understand? The fact that we're always in want, in need of something. In the land, and not even just something, but something as simple as food and water. You understand? Whether it's in the city or it's in the or it's you're farming. Doesn't matter where you are. Our people suffer from that. You understand? The Israelites suffer from that. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they suffer from that. You understand? You fit that curse. That's letting you know that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, that the Bible is talking about you and your family. You understand? And quite frankly, man, like if your family don't fit the bill, then obviously, I mean, hell, you just watching the class just because you want to learn something. That's the only thing I'd say. You understand? You understand? All right. So of course, during this class, we're going to be going over, things that show who you are. And also, of course, the importance of you remembering who you are. All right. So let's go ahead and drop that. We're going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1. The book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. You understand? All right. All right. This is the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? You understand? This is a question being posed by Paul. He said, what advantage then hath the Jew? So what is the real advantage of being a Jew? You understand? Then he asks another question, or what profit is there of circumcision? So he's asking, you being circumcised of the world, you being a Jew, what profit is there? You understand? What real gain do you get? What financial gain do you get just by simply saying, I'm an Israelite? I know I'm an Israelite and I am an Israelite. What real gain is there? I mean, hell, Kanye West was basically, starting up on that. Got down, what's his name? Nick Cannon. You understand? But here Kanye West is, still messing with white women. Nick Cannon folded, apologizing to the fake Jew, whom of which he supposedly was aware wasn't a real Jew. Apologized to this man with tears. Sat through his little sit-down talk of lecture to explain why he was offended and how those fake Jews are the Jews. And then I believe also paid them some money. They can't hold it, right? But obviously, the point being is, what gain is there from you walking out and saying, I am a Jew? I am part of the circumcision, the literal circumcision, the literal physical circumcision, and the circumcision of the world. I am a part of it. Yes, what gain is there? Right? What profit is there? Right? Then he follows up verse 2. He said, much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. So he's saying, man, actually in every way. Because you being a part of the circumcision, you being a Jew, right? What did he say? Because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. We are the oracles of God. You understand? So now, this also lets you know, though, as well, from the example I was giving y'all, the two examples that I gave y'all in verse 1, while I was talking about Nick Cannon and Kanye West, for one, it was, throw you off a little bit and think about it. But also, two, just knowing that you are a Jew is not enough. You understand? You proclaiming that you are a Jew is not enough. You understand? Because mind you, being an oracle of God is a job. This is a job. So in other words, there is work to be done. This is not something that we just do with our mouths. You understand? Coming to class, this is my job. Lord, that's why, Lord, with the Lord's will, I make every single class to teach, and hell, to even sit in on, because that is my job. You understand? Anytime that we have work to go do on the streets, with the Lord, with the Lord willing, with the Lord allowing it, I am there because that is my job. You understand? That's the one job that I actually show up on time and have, that I actually enjoy, man. These goddamn, there's a difference between a job and a slavery. You understand? Now, that whole 9 to 5 and clocking in and clocking out, you understand? That's a slavery. That's a slavery. You understand? This is a job. All right. So what Nick Cannon and hell, even Kyrie Irving too, he ain't really doing too much. I mean, yeah, he said go check out this information, which is a big deal with the seat, with the stage that he's on, with the spotlight that he has. Sure, I'll give you that. But as far as doing your job, being the oracle that you are, being the oracle or prophet, you understand? There's more than just, oh yeah, I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite, so I wear fringes. You understand? I make sure that I got the Magan Dawada, even though that some of these camps think that this is a freaking star. That's why we always challenge them, man. Show me a star in the sky that looks like this. You understand? Hell, even King Solomon had said so himself, that the stars are balls of gas. You understand? Like, man, stop it. You understand? That's why it's important for you to learn, to be in these classes so that you can prove these things. You understand? Prove these things wrong and prove things right. You understand? Because you know what? Guess what? That's part of being an oracle of God. That's part of being a prophet of the Lord. You understand? That is part of the job, is to prove all things and to hold fast unto which is good. You understand? So that we can always remember who we are. As long as we hold on to who we are and how we are supposed to live, guess what happens? The next generation is raised up in that. And so guess what? They live their lives like that. Like my sons, you understand? And my daughter, they are being raised up in this truth. You understand? So when I am gone, what does the scripture say? That raise up a child in the which of in the way that they should go, and when you depart, and when they become old, they will not depart from it. You understand? And just paraphrasing it, Salakia. But you understand? So when they are on their own, when they are out in the world by themselves, the things that the things that I taught them when they was under my wing, when they was under my roof, they always gonna have that, dad's voice in my head, man. Boy, your ass can think about this before you do it. You sure you want to do this? There's consequences for all of your actions, whether it's good or bad. You understand? You mess this up, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself. Man, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all got that same, whatever person that you held dear in your life for your life guidance, for while you was being raised up to keep you out of trouble. And you got that voice too. That's why y'all be saying, man, yeah, I was about to go hit a lick. And man, I heard my boy, I heard my dad, I heard my uncle, whomever it was, that that voice kept you out of trouble. Like, man, I heard your voice, and I heard you saying exactly what you used to say. It's the same exact thing. You understand? And mind you, to get that instilled, not in just in our children, but in you, for those that are watching that, for those watching this video, for those that come to these classes, for those that we go and talk to on the course when we at camp. You understand? We are trying to be that voice in the back of your head where you hear, oh, you ain't supposed to be a whore. You ain't supposed to be this. You ain't supposed to be that, because you are a son and daughter of God. You understand? Because now you know that. So the next time you try to go roll up, next time you decide that you're gonna go make some money and get on the, go get on that pole, you have that voice in your head. You understand? That's part of our job, is to make you remember and always remember. You understand? All right, let's go ahead and drop that. We're gonna go to the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 21. Book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 21. I can find chapter 4. I can find verse 21. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. You understand? So right here, the Most High is telling Moses, he's like, man, hey, I want you to go and plead with Pharaoh, right? Go let him know. All right, go ask him, man, let my people go. But when you're doing that, don't expect him to, okay. You understand? I'm letting you know that I'm going to harden his heart. So every time that you go and talk to him, to, plead with him to let your people go, to let our people go, he's going to say no. So just expect that. All right. Verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Now, what is so significant about these two verses, right? Actually, let's read verse 23 first. Verse 23, and I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. Now, mind you, this is also what leads up to the Passover, since you understand that's, hey man, we got hell. I leave in 6 days. And that Friday sundown next week, April 1st, in Raleigh, North Carolina, man, like it's going to be in celebration of it, in recognition of this right here that we're talking about. You understand? These verses that we're talking about right now, which also, of course, this is us showing the Most High God that we remember who we are. We know who we are, that we are these people in this Bible. You understand? But so what is significant about what we just read in these 3 verses, right, is the fact that, man, first of all, Pharaoh has us in captivity. Pharaoh has us in captivity. He's letting Moses know, hey, this is what is, you're going to go do this, knowing that this mother effer is going to say no and decline what you are asking of him, which is to let your people go, right? So when this happens, you're basically gonna threaten his ass. Gonna let him know, like, hey, you need to let me and my people go so that we can serve our God, because the Most High God looks at us. He says this, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. You understand? So the Most High God is saying that we are his firstborn son. We are important to him. You understand? Israel is the one to be inheriting what the Most High God has to pass on to the next generation, so to speak, right? Because that's what a firstborn son gets. Is the inheritance. He gets the primary inheritance of his father. That is actually in the law. You can look that up yourselves, right? Verse 23 follows the saying, I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. So Moses let him know, man, hey, listen, my God, the power I serve is not playing. He's going to He gonna kill your firstborn son. And what ends up happening is the Most High God kills the firstborn of everything, not just the firstborn sons of Pharaoh or his servants or his, how I want to say, the royalty in the palace, so to speak, right? No. Man, the firstborn son cows, you understand? They livestock, everything, all of the people across this land, firstborn of everybody. Of course, that didn't have the lamb's blood. You understand? Because if you had the lamb's blood, you were showing that you was obedient to the Most High God. You was going to do as the Most High God said to do. You understand? That's what the Passover came from. You understand? That lamb's blood had the spirit, the spirit of death passed over you. If you had the lamb's blood where it was supposed to be, that spirit passed over you and went on to the next one until they didn't have the blood. Boom, taking his breath, taking the firstborn. And of course, that happened to Pharaoh. So this is letting you know that there is a distinction between all of us. You understand? Between the Egyptian and the Israelite, so-called African, or biblically the Hamite and the Israelite. You understand? And not only that, one thing that you should know. So at that time in Egypt, the Egyptian was a superpower. It was of that time, it was America, the superpower of all the superpowers. You understand? It was the superpower, right? Be as much of a super duper trooper power that you want to. What does that mean to the Most High God's power? What is that in comparison to the Most High God's power? That's like, because I'm still kind of into, watching like the space videos and stuff like that. And there's a video that shows you the comparison of like our moon, then it goes like our Earth, and then like the planets getting bigger and bigger. Then it's our sun, and then it goes to like a sun that's even bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and like to the point where like there's a doggone star out there that is so big you can't even see on the scale. You can't even see, like our sun is just a little dot. A superpower on Earth is lesser than that in comparison to the Most High God's power. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all tracking what I'm laying down? So like man, it's raining today, so I got ear pressure issues right now. So like if I start like this from time to time, just bear with me. Right? But y'all understand? Man, so in other words, man, you can be as super duper as you want. If my people are doing as I say, following my commandment, being obedient unto me, they're going to get what they want. And guess what ended up happening? The Most High God destroyed Egypt and delivered the Israelites from their oppression, which in other words is destruction, salvation. Those two words are synonymous with each other. You understand? You cannot have salvation without destruction. You understand? Now, all of that summed up in a nutshell, what does that let you know? That the Most High God is with his people. As long as you are obedient unto the Most High God, you remember who you are, you keep those laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High God will be with you, will destroy powerful nations for you. And yes, plural. Because guess what? Y'all think that when we provoke the Most High God to send Yahushua back, right? Y'all think that Yahushua is coming with a white flag? Y'all think that he's coming to, with rainbows and daisies and sunflower seeds? Man, Christ is coming back with the sword. He is coming to spill blood. You understand? Y'all can look this up. I'm going to paraphrase it real quick. But it says that, Christ said, man, there's going to be so much blood in the streets that the blood from the streets is going to be up on top. The blood level will be up to the top of a horse's girdle. Man, I mean, whether it's a flood zone out here in Las Vegas, because we get some bad flood zones now, where you know what, that makes a whole lot of sense. That's a lot of death and destruction. That's a lot of you talking about from spilling blood, from killing people, from slaying them with the sword. You understand? That destruction, so that we can have Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can have that salvation. You understand? And of course, like that's a whole lot of killing, and that's for you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. But of course, that salvation for you to have is only obtainable if you remember who you are, if you are obedient unto the Most High God. You understand? That's why I was saying that this class is a good class to follow up after, last class with the law isn't done and over with. Because when you remember that the law is not done and over with, that you are supposed to follow the law, you are also showing through your actions that you know who you are. You understand? That's why I take, for example, right? It could be somebody. Take me, for example, because I know how I look, right? Typically, a lot of people think that I'm a so-called devil, and I'm a so-called white man, right? Well, of course, I know who I am. I've always known who I was, right? Not that I was Israelite, but I knew I was a so-called black man. I was a little bright-skinned, a little bit shinier than the next brother, but I knew I was a brother. You understand? When I tried to come into the ISUPK, it was a screening process for me to come in. You understand? Where it was a thorough investigation to make sure that, like, is this man really a black man? Now, was it all the way to the extent? Is it always all the way to the extent of, okay, let me see a picture of your father, this, that, and the other? Of course, I had to show that. But one of the primary things that is, and this is for any brother that's, no matter how they look, but, for someone who does look like me, one of the primary things that, these brothers do is pay attention to your spirit, pay attention to how you react to, how we go in on like death and destruction to the so-called white man, death and destruction to the so-called African, death and destruction to the Asian man. Man, they don't want to hear that because their spirit, like, man, this is what's going to happen to me. So now they become argumentative. I believe, who was it? Was it Captain Tazariak? I think it was. Or maybe it was one of the generals. I'm not sure. Somebody had said, I remember this was a while back. I heard this in the class, right? Either one of the generals, or I think it was Captain Tazariak, where I guess it was a dude didn't know what he was. He's like, I might be African. I don't know, right? So they said, man, just come to class, man. It's cool. We'll figure it out. We'll sort you out. So dude come to class and, they start talking about how, start talking about death and destruction to the Africans, reading what the Bible says. What happened? He couldn't last the whole class. He ended up leaving. You understand? Because his spirit can't deal with that. You understand? So not only is there a physical pedigree that only some can provide, but there's also the spiritual pedigree as well. You understand? And that's part of how we prove who we are. You understand? Because you know what, at the end of the day, and I remember this was one of the biggest things, that I heard all of the time when I was first going through the motions of proving, proving who my spirit was, what my spirit was, that I was an Israelite. One thing that I heard all the time, and it was from the online classes. This was back in 2018, going into 2018 and 2019, when Captain Soccer World was doing the Thursday scripture breakdown class. That was back when you could call in and, you can just listen in on the phone line or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Ask your questions from calling in and stuff like that on the scripture breakdown classes, right? He, one of the, they would always say that almost every class, these heathens, they don't have the ability to be able to follow all of the laws. They might be able to do some of them for so long, but eventually, it's too much of a burden on them. They can't follow the law. They literally could not follow the law if they had truly wanted to. Because the thing is at the end of the day, what are you doing it for? What is that heathen doing it for? We're doing it for our salvation. What salvation is that white man going to get? Somebody has to be destroyed for that white man to have salvation. If you think about it, man, they already have this. They in heaven now. But you understand? So I know I got a little sidebar with that, but I pray that y'all understand what I'm saying. You understand? Remembering who you are is not just reading the Bible. It's not just, you understand, showing up when there's a function, right? Got a feast day, high holy day, goddamn cookout. You understand? Just the class, man. It's more than that. It's the things that you do when you don't even think that nobody is watching. You understand? I pray that you do. I pray that you do. I pray, and in fact, I pray that provokes you to make sure. I pray that provokes you to go buy you a goddamn ticket to Raleigh, North Carolina right now. For those of y'all that wasn't planning on going, you're going now. You understand? Because that's what it should be. That should be that voice that we spoke about earlier. You understand? You waking up now to remember who you are. All right. Now, so I know I spent buku time on that. Let's go ahead and drop that. And now we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 1. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 1. All right, let's go ahead and get there. All right. Please don't do it. It didn't do it. Good. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20 and verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So this right here is telling you, man, don't forget what I've already done for you because of who you are. You are a special people unto me. You can see this in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. You understand? We are a special people unto the Most High God. So he's not, when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, he's not going to allow. It don't matter how few of you there are and how many great numbers of them there is. You understand? It's irrelevant. Do not fear, because the Most High God is with you. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies and seest horses and chariots and a people more than them, be not afraid of them. Don't be afraid. What you gonna be afraid of? Because they might have buku African booty scratching ass people running around with spears and no goddamn shoes on. You understand? Just pulled their head out of a goddamn cow's ass, took a cow piss shower before they come running at you. I mean, I guess I'd be a little afraid of that stench. I don't want to smell that. But past that, I mean, man, the Lord is with you. You doing what you're supposed to be doing, man. There's nothing to fear. The Lord's got your back. For the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. think about this as well. Where was it written that the Israelites had to fight any of those Egyptians? But the nation of Egypt was destroyed, was it not? The chariots of Pharaoh and his horses and chariots, that army that went to chase them down at the Red Sea. How many of the Israelites had to fight them off? It didn't say that there was a great war and a great battle. And it said that the Lord destroyed them with the water, with his chariots. Damn near didn't have to lift a freaking finger. You understand? Just know and believe. Know and believe. The Lord has got your back. You believe. You know that the Lord has just got you. Don't even believe. Just know. Just know. You understand? Just know. Because you know who you are. And you know that he's already done it for you before. He's done it for you for the Egyptians. Man, that was you that was being delivered out of Egypt with Moses across that Red Sea. You understand? Of course, that's another topic of regeneration, right? So, all right. So let's read on verse 2. And it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people. So, when we get close to battle, there's going to be a priest that is going to speak to everybody, right? Verse 3, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. So basically, these priests are going to come and speak words of encouragement, right? For you to remember that there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to tremble at. You understand? Verse 4, for the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. You understand? Now, this also applies not just to the physical warfare that we have with, we may have with other nations, right? This right here is, this is speaking about when we were going to go and fight physically, fight with shield and sword and spears and arrows and the whole shebang, right? We're going to be few in number. Don't be afraid, man. Just go do what the Lord commanded us to do, and you're going to be all right because the Lord is with us, right? Now, it doesn't just apply to that type of warfare. It also applies to the spiritual warfare. You understand? Where, like, take for example, you ain't supposed to be smoking weed, getting on that stripper pole. You ain't supposed to be, you ain't supposed to be celebrating Christmas and Easter and what's coming up. Yeah, Easter's coming up. What's after Easter? 4th of July, I guess. Right? You're not supposed to be celebrating them days. Those are the ways of the heathen. But because you've been involved with them in their spirits for so long, it's hard for you to pull away. Man, you're afraid of how you say, you're afraid and weary about, mom and dad say, oh, now you're changing. Oh, now, since you've been a part of this cult, now you don't want to be a part of the family. It's for the kids and da-da-da-da. You're afraid to hear everybody else's lip because you're obeying the Most High God now. You understand? That still applies because you know what? At the end of the day, if your mother and father is a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man or woman, and they remembered who they were, you want to be having that conversation. But because you remember who you are, You are having that conversation because they don't remember who they are. You understand? I mean, hell, that was a constant battle I had with my father for a good hot minute, where they would still buy, they wouldn't buy me a present, but they would buy, my newborn daughter a present. Like, why? She don't even remember this. She's not even a year yet. Why are you buying her a present as if this is gonna make or break, her year? Like this is important for her. No, me and my house, we are going to follow, do the Lord's will. We are going to follow the law, statutes, commandments. We are going to serve God. You understand? You choose to do that, serve them pagan guys, everybody else, man, that's on you. You understand? But as far as me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You understand? Because I remember who I was. Got back with my roots, got back with my history, got back with my culture. So like it. You understand? And of course, my family is going to follow suit right along with it. Now today, hell, so we've already had a birthday. So that basically makes a birthday, a Christmas, a whole, two of them actually, technically, with my firstborn son. Ain't no Christmas presents, ain't none of that. Now, because my father's kind of like me, make everything into a joke type thing. And it's like, you know what? I ain't sweating it too bad. That's just less money for me than I gotta spend. You know what I'm saying? But then on the flip side, talk about, okay, but when you ain't here, we gonna do this. I'm like, okay, well, I guess they'll just never be around for that time of year from a fat time slot. Because then that excludes that Christmas nonsense, that birthday nonsense. I'm not going to participate in that because our spirit is not to, our people are not to be a part of it. You understand? We are to fight against those evil and selfish holidays, because y'all know that a birthday is, that's self-worship. Just think about it, right? Think about them videos that y'all see on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, right? Where they talk about some, a chick, something bad happens, or you get a post on Reddit that you read, something bad happens. My boyfriend broke up with me on my birthday. Oh, on my birthday, I ain't get this. On my birthday, I ain't get that. Why is this day so special to you? To you. In reality, man, that day is only as special as everybody else makes it. Let me say that one more time. These birthdays and holidays are only as special as each person makes it. Now, when you got things like the Passover, we just had the Feast of Purim, these things are special because the Most High God had made it special. What are y'all trying to put the creator and the creature on the same level? It's the same. They equal? Hey man, Lord be with you. Lord be with you on that, because all these goddamn holidays that y'all celebrate in America, Christmas, Easter, St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day just came. I was pissed about that. I ain't gonna front. We ain't gonna get into that kind of story. That person knows why I'm pissed too. But took me to that stupid ass bar. Now in her defense, she didn't know it was St. Patty's Day, but Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, Officer Bucquires. It's good to see you in the class, sir. Right. These holidays are created by man. They're created by the creature that the creator created. So which one has more weight? Which one is more important? You understand? Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, young man. Jamie from San Bernardino, man. Hey, is it Jamie or is it Jaime? So like if I butchered it both ways or one or the other, man, so please forgive me. All right, but hey, it's good to see you, young man. Make sure you keep getting in these classes. Get your Hebrew name, right? Damn, I lost. Why are you texting me? Made me lose my doggone track. Quit texting. I'm about to put my phone on silent. Go airplane mode, Salakia. Right? Oh yeah. So all of these holidays, man, it's all created by man. So in other words, man, they have no importance. Your birthday is only important because you make it important. Just you. Sure, the people, and of course, you're only going to invite the people to attend that are going to say, you know what, yeah, their day is important too. You ain't going to invite anybody else. You invite some other stranger. You invite a stranger. What are they going to say? Is there drugs? Is there alcohol? Is there going to be women? Is it going to be things that benefit me? And ultimately, that's the same thing with the other people. Your close friends and family. And it's just the benefit, because let's be real, man. For Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what do we do? We like to party. That's it. We like to party. We like to celebrate. Give us a reason to goddamn throw some meat on the grill and crack open some cold ones. I don't be drinking beer no more. And I like my strong now. You know what I'm saying? Give me a reason. Of course I'll be there. You understand? The problem is we wait until we are told by the creature when to do it. You understand? When of course, Most High God, we can do these things any day. We can do it every day if we want to. And hell, if you read how long our doggone high holy days and feast days actually, it's not even a day. I don't, not that I'm trying to badmouth or anything, but to say a high holy day, okay, high holy day, this is when it starts. You look when the high holy day ends, it is not a day. Passover basically is a whole week long celebration. Which I can't think which one it is off the top of my head right now, but it's 2 weeks. Or maybe that's Passover. Is it Passover? Or was it the other one? Anyways, we ain't getting down for just a day. Hell, we're only doing that for a day because we're in captivity. And hell, we got overhead that we got to take care of. So we got to make sure we take our asses to work eventually, because we can only get so much time off so that we can cover our overhead. You understand? But in the kingdom, mind you, man, best believe, man, 2 weeks off. What? Damn near 2 weeks off, because we like to party. We like to celebrate life, man. Let me get a drink. Man, hey, I brought some lamb ribs. I brought some beef ribs. You know what I'm saying? I brought me some goat. Man, you know what I'm saying? Let's throw it on the grill. That's niggas. That is the Bible. When the Bible starts talking about getting down like that, you cannot tell me that white people like to. They like to get down. They like to party. They like to get stupid because they stupid. You understand? Birthdays feed our ego. We selfish. So no, you're exactly right. And that's what I was saying. You understand? It's all just selfishness. It's all just selfishness. You understand? But like I was saying, man, like the so-called white man, these other heathen, these other heathens, period. But since the so-called white man wants to claim they Jews, they claim they are Jewish, which I guess you said that's right? They don't get down like we do. You ain't gonna sit here and tell me when they all got the same stupid ass haircut, they all look the exact same. What celebration of life comes out of everybody looks the same? Everybody acts the same. Everybody is the same. Is that me saying that we are not all supposed to follow the law, statutes, and commandments the same way? No. But what I am saying is that you're allowed to have your own opinion. You are allowed to have a different color and style garment than the next brother. You understand? Like take for example, there was 1 year, there was a brother, he had it was a full sheep wool garment, looked cold as hell. You You understand? It was a nice ass garment. He was the only one who had it. You understand? He was the only one who had it. But you look at what these fake Jews be doing, they all got the same stupid ass hats, same stupid ass haircut, same, collar tee, not collar tee, but collar button up, the whole shebang. And they all look the same. You understand? You can't tell me that's God's. You can't tell me that's the salt of the earth. That don't make no doggone sense. How you gonna be the salt of the earth, but you all taste the same? I don't know. Maybe we got a different understanding of what salt of the earth is, right? But back on track. I know I got sidetracked again. I did that a lot. Slocky. Back on track, man. Just in the midst of all of this, when you're fighting against your family to the spiritual warfare. The spiritual warfare is actually more important than that physical warfare. You understand? Because if you can conquer the spiritual warfare, the physical warfare will follow suit. So if you can overcome your mom and dad and cousin, uncle, grandma, grandpa, the whole shebang with doing the right thing spiritually, doing the right thing physically, it's all in all. Because if you're not spiritually, contributing to Christmas, what are you physically not doing? Contributing to Christmas. If you are spiritually contributing to the brotherhood of just your people, of just your nation, of just blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what's going to follow suit physically? Brotherhood. You understand? Where you ready to give your goddamn, the shirt off of your back. Where you ready to go and pass out flyers. You ready to go do camp. You ready to go do, go feed your people. You understand? Go give hope to your people that what they say on the news about how niggas and spicks and savages is not real. You understand? What you dealing with face to face, when I'm handing you this plate and some cold weather gear so that you can make it through the winter, that's what you're gonna, that going forward is how our people will view us. Giving them back hope, giving them back life, realizing that, our people just need to wake up. That's part of all of it. You understand? That's part of the awakening of remembering who you are. You understand? All right, let's drop that. We're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 7. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 7. Let's go back on freaking do not disturb. All right. So the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 7, right? The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee up before thee 7 ways. You understand? So let's break that down. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. So people that try to come up against you, man, black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. You remember who you are. Mind you, man, remember who you are, man. That's a stepping stone to everything. It's to doing the right thing. You understand? You remember who you are and you do the things that you remember you are supposed to do. Law, statutes, commandments, be obedient to the Most High God, right? Our enemies that rise up against us, man, they will be smitten before our faces. In other words, we will watch them be destroyed. We'll watch them be destroyed. You understand? Prime example. What's happening next week? April 1st. Raleigh, North Carolina. Is the Passover. You understand? I mean, The Egyptians were smitten before their faces, before our faces. You understand? You remember who you are by reading this Bible. Understand this. You were the people in Exodus. Let me say that one more time. Maybe you didn't understand this. Maybe you didn't understand. I said it too fast. You are the people who were delivered out of Egypt in the book of Exodus. It was you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man or woman. You walked across that Red Sea after Moses had parted the sea. You did that. You walked. You didn't part the sea, so like it. But you understand what I'm saying? You walked across that. You witnessed that. You just done forgotten. You understand? You done forgot who you were. You done forgot your history. You done forgot your culture. You done forgot your God and what he has done for you. You understand? Because right here, I mean, prime example is what the hell, what we just wrote. We saw that when we exited out of, when we received salvation from the Egyptians, that destruction, we witnessed that. We saw that before our faces. You understand? You just forgot. Don't get things twisted, man. You over here letting these goddamn heathen nations tell you, oh yeah, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. But of course, the funny thing is there's historical documents on the four corners of the earth of these people saying they are tracking on the Great Flood, they tracking on the Red Sea splitting. These other nations are tracking on it. They are aware this did happen. They have documents. You understand? So, Lockie. Fix my hair a little bit better, just really right quick, right? But you understand? They all have documents. They all know. That's why in all of our classes we teach y'all, we tell y'all, man, these other nations, they know who the hell we are. They know who the hell they are scripturally. They know that we are not the same. That's why they have the hatred that they have. Because you know what? Right now, they're allowed to serve the gods that they serve and have the lusts that they have. You understand? They're allowed to have all these things. Why? Because who is in power? Who is currently in power? Slovakia. You understand? Because once they come out of power, guess what happens? Yahweh Mashiach in the Hebrew, in our tongue, in our language, the Lashon Kodash, you understand? Or the Hebrew, for those of y'all that are, still learning, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Keep on learning, stay in class. Or as the world ignorantly knows him as, is Jesus Christ. You understand? He has said that, oh damn, I ain't gonna front. Lost I have a brain fart right there. Y'all just give me one moment to bring that back. Got a brain fart. Moving on. Screw it. We're moving on with it, right? 7. I forgot where I was going with it with Christ. Maybe it'll come back to me and then we'll revisit it. So Salaki, right? Moving on with verse 7. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Now, when you see, so there's certain numbers that we should all understand, right? And this isn't to get into like numerology or anything like that, right? We don't play with that kind of stuff because the Lord had commanded us not to, right? So when you see things like 7, when you see things like 77 times 7, man, that's letting you know it's a lot. Many. It's not literally just 7 ways. You understand? take for example, like when Yahushua had, they asked Yahushua in the Hebrew or in the English, as the world ignorantly knows him as, in the Jesus Christ, when they had asked them, okay, if a brother offends you 7 times, are we supposed to forgive him 7 times? He said, man, you're supposed to forgive him 77 times 7. You understand? So what, are you going to count each and every time until you hit, what is that, like 549 or 59 or something like that? I don't know what it is. I was just throwing a number out there. I just know the last number is going to be 7, right? But are you going to sit there and actually count those hundreds of times? No. When you see numbers like 7 and stuff like that, that just lets you know it's many. Okay, a lot, just a whole, so many different ways you can't count. Nor should you even bother yourself to waste your time to count them. So they'll come up against you one way, and that one way is basically just to attack you. They're going to attack you so that either you fold and die in place, or you convert. That's that one way, right? But when you hold your ground and you remember who you are and you do as you're supposed to do, man, they'll flee many ways, all of the different ways. You understand? Well, they'll like y'all know that weenie dude that sit there and talk all that shit, all that rah-rah. I'll whip your ass. We all know about that. All men know about that, growing up. There's always that one dude that's with all that rah-rah shit. And then, all right, man, what's happening there? Let's throw hands. Then they got a big homie. He's like, oh, God, go ahead, big homie, and handle this shit. What you mean? That's one way they'll flee. You understand? Another, mind you, they both can get to work. So lucky, my father didn't raise no fun. My father didn't raise no weenie boy. So lucky, so to speak, right? But that's one way they'll flee. They'll flee. Either they'll flee and hide behind somebody. They'll flee and just say, "Oh, you know what? I'm better than this. It's not even worth my time." You was with the rah-rah. You came up against me. You understand? And that's the point, is that they will come up against you, but then when you hold your ground, they want to run away, which don't make no sense to me. If I'm going to approach somebody, I'm approaching you like, hey, man, listen, either you need to make right what you did wrong because you offended me in some way, or I'm going to put hands on you. Now, that's not my mentality now, of course. We ain't out here, in the ISUPK beating people up. We ain't doing that. But, when I was in the world, man, and y'all niggas, y'all know, you Black, Hispanic, and Native American men, y'all know, listen, if I approach you, it's either because I'm about to put hands on you, or I'm at least giving you an opportunity to make it right. Man, give me an apology. Man, at least explain yourself, because I had a misunderstanding. My father raised me to at least hear both sides of the story first. Don't just pop off on somebody. So yeah, hey, man, I heard that you whoop-de-whoop, blase, foop-de-foop, right? Okay. So look, I'm about to beat your ass. Now you better explain this, or I'm gonna beat your ass. Simple as that. And y'all, I know y'all brothers, like, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It ain't no different. You understand? It ain't no different. So of course, now that's how, because we set an hour ground. So when they do it, okay, hey, blah blah blah, hey, you had said this, but you had called me the B word. Yeah, I did. You ain't even worth my time. Like, why? Because you know it's the truth, and you know that I would show everybody right now if you were to try to pop off. You get what I'm saying? It's same. All different ways, man. They're gonna find an excuse to flee away, because when you show that essentially, man, you were a real one, they These heathen nations, everybody, period, is afraid of a man who has spirit. You understand? Now, people, I'm a bit bigger of a dude, right? I'm a little bit bigger than most people. You know what my most fearsome trait that I have is the fact that, for one, I ain't afraid to get my ass whooped. But two, I was raised not to give up. I mean, that's why I got me one of these. It's a lucky. I ain't trying to stunt or anything, but it is what it is. People who don't give up get one of these covers. You understand? I'm not afraid to get my ass whooped. Okay, you know what? I know I ain't the strongest, best fighter, this, that, and the other. But one thing that you won't be able to do is say that you bitched me out. One thing you will never be able to do is say that you just whooped me. I don't quit. So you better be ready to have that same to match that energy to not want to quit. You understand? That's what makes me dangerous. And quite frankly, that's what makes these brothers in the ISUPK period across the globe dangerous as well. You understand? Because we all on the same mindset. Man, I ain't about to quit. I ain't about to quit. For what? I ain't afraid. See, we're going to leave that alone, right? We're going to drop down to verse 10. So now we have Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 10. Right? Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called let me read that from the top. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. You understand? When they realize like who you are, what you stand for, when you're doing the right thing, you are checking off all of the boxes. Not just saying, oh, I'm an Israelite and I don't eat pork. I don't do Christmas. No, you are checking off all the boxes. You understand? He just got raised up to Captain 10,000 maybe like a month ago. I actually feel bad. I can't think of his name right now. Oh, but there's a video, right, on that you can look up on YouTube. One of our, he's a newly raised 10,000 captain. At the time, I believe, I'm pretty sure he was a 5,000, right? He went to go set up camp where he always is every week. And some of them little purple alternative lifestyle Israelites, wanted to beef with him. Now, mind you, it was just him and it was basically just himself. They wanted to try to confront him with 3/4 of their camp, wanted to try and press him to try to run him off. You understand? Run him off of, where he runs camp. You understand? If anybody knows that brother's name, Baba Kashab, post it in the chat, Baba Kashab, right? Now, mind you, we're talking about fake Israelites where, some of them, now we're talking about IUIC, hey, you have Africans, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got white people in they camp, but you know what I'm saying? Like some of them are Israelites, but like they not us. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the niggas that rolled with Moses versus everybody else that was trying to run up against Moses, or same thing with Christ. The niggas that was running with Christ versus everybody that was against Christ. Same. Different, but still same. You understand? So, they're trying to run up on them, and the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. Obviously, if it takes 14 of you purple alternative lifestyle dudes to press up against our one camp leader, you understand? Now, of course, it was just the one because, he gave the orders for X amount of people to stand down. One brother, hey, you record this. He handled it the way that he knew was best. Now, this is also why we don't do numbers. This is also why you remembering who you are is so important that, they don't be afraid. Just one of you is one of you is mightier than, man. I think easily there was like 10, there was 10 dudes. I'm not even gonna say brothers because they have Africans in their group. There was like at least easily 10 of them. I want to sit there and call him, trying to call him out his name and this, that, and the other. And man, hey, show me. That mighty man was like, man, how you gonna say all this, but show me. They want to, and that's the thing. They would walk behind each other, hide away, the whole shebang. One want to be cordial, the other one want to be aggressive. Man, hey, listen, how y'all want to do this? I'm not leaving. I'm holding my ground because I'm going to hold the line for the Most High God like I was ordered to do so. He knew that the Lord was with him, so of course he had that type of courage. Because you know what? If anybody else was on some, was in a situation like that in the world, or even if the script would have been flipped with them, they wouldn't want it. Okay, no. Let me wait until I got more people and then we'll confront them. Or they would have just left if the script was flipped, where they felt like they was outnumbered. Now I say felt like they was outnumbered for a reason. The reason why is when you got the Lord on your side, you outnumber everybody every time. They could just be one of you and 10 billion of them. They outnumbered. Who cares? I'm gonna do what I was ordered to do. You understand? Remembering who you are gives you so much power. You understand? And man, I feel bad for not remembering that brother's name, man. I cannot think of what his name is. Hey, Shalom to the Christ Trooper. It's good to see you, man. Who was that? Mathanya. Yeah, Mathanya. It's a life. Goofy ass can even read it for some reason. Lord of Christ Trooper. It's good to see you in the class, man. All right. So they shall be afraid of thee. And that's one example of even our own that is trying to be our enemies versus, it's the same exact thing with these devils. You understand? Why do you think that these fake Jews want to attack, someone like Nick Cannon? Okay, sure, he's got a bigger platform, this, that, and the other. But you know what's the difference between Nick Cannon and the ISUPK? ISUPK is actually out there on the street corners, having camp and telling everybody about themselves. And guess what ends up happening? Heathens kiss our boots, white women crying. You understand? They storm off in rage and they're just upset. But ultimately, they're upset because they're afraid. You understand? That is what happens when you hold your ground knowing that the Lord is on your side, when you are doing what the Lord told you to do, which is, remember who you are. Do not forget who you are and be obedient to the Most High God, which, 1 and 2 follows with 3. You understand? I should have just put 3, 3 is 1, and then followed up with 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Almost confused myself for a second there. But you understand? Man, all of these things, man, they come full circle. They all follow suit. That's how perfect the Most High God's ways are. So why even bother to give it up? You want to be imperfect? You want to be like everybody else? You want to be some lustful bastard that just listens to their flesh because you're weak? That's what you want? Hey, I mean, you might say yes or no, but what you do is what we know is what you actually want. It's all about what you do. It has nothing to do with what you say. You understand? Because hell, even the Most High God, he played by the same rules. What did he say? Man, serve and be not in tongue, paraphrasing, but you understand? Serve in deed, not in tongue. I don't want to hear what you gonna do. I don't want to hear that you love me. Show me. Show me. You understand? All right, we're gonna drop that. We're gonna go to the book of Psalms, chapter 135, verse 4. The book of Psalms 135 and then verse 4. All right. All right. And then while y'all flipping to that, we got a couple people in the classroom, right? So I'm just going to reiterate. So first and foremost, April 1st, the Lord's Passover at Raleigh, North Carolina. Make sure that you are there, all right? Secondly, if there's anybody that is online that has any questions, man, whether it's on topic, off topic, regardless, man, post it in the chat. Your questions are always encouraged. You understand? The best way to get edified is by, asking questions. You understand? If you feel like you know the question but you're unsure, ask. You understand? Don't be sure, make sure. You understand? Always make sure that you are correct. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get it. Book of Psalms, chapter 135, verse 4. For the Lord hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. You understand? So what y'all always got to understand is Jacob and Israel, that's all the same. All right? Maybe some of y'all didn't know that. Now you do. Some of y'all did know that. Most High in Christ, man. Keep staying in class, right? So when we see Jacob, Israel, it's still talking about the same people, right? For the Lord had chosen Jacob unto himself, right? He chose Jacob for himself. This is the child that the Most High God wanted. One thing that should stand out about that is Esau was the older twin brother, but Jacob was the one that he had chosen, right? And his seed being the 12 tribes of Israel, because Jacob's name later got changed to Israel, right? And Israel for his peculiar treasure, all right? So you need to remember, Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women, you are a peculiar treasure to the Most High God. Y'all, come on, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Y'all see how God talks about y'all? How God talks about you? A peculiar treasure, a treasure that is not like any of the others, is so special in a way that you can't even put your finger on why exactly it's special. Man, it's just special for many different reasons. You understand? That's how he feels about you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman. Yes, you women too. You understand? That's why, man, this right here, it should be more than a reason enough. More than a reason enough for y'all to stop being whores. Stop being whoremongers. Stop being drug dealers. Stop being drug addicts. You understand? Better yourself. This is why I always say in the beginning of every class, make sure that y'all like and share these classes, man. Because there might be somebody that is on your Facebook feed or Twitter feed, what have you, that is looking for a way to better their lives, but just don't know how to do it. Man, as a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman, the only way that you can do that is in the ISUPK. That's why it's so important for us to always make sure that we like and share all ISUPK classes. It's like ISUPK classes, all of them, not just Las Vegas, not just California, not just, Chicago, Texas, no, all of them. You understand? We need to flood the interweb with ISUPK classes to ensure that all of our people have an opportunity to edify themselves, to get edified. So like for us, priests and prophets of the Lord, to edify them. You understand? That's one way. Hey, man, that's one big way for you to be able to contribute to building the school, to building our nation, putting your brick in. You understand? right? Let's read that again from the top. For the Lord hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. And again, just listen to how, read, not even listen, read how the Most High God talks about you, how special you are to him. You understand? All you got to do is just remember who the hell you are. You just need to remember who you are so that you can be that peculiar treasure. Because when you forget who you are, man, you are just as nasty of a, how about we put it like this? Israel is rubies and sapphires and emeralds and diamonds, gold and silver, all of these, just all of the riches, right? But these other nations, that's your typical rock that you find going, stepping outside, right? When you don't remember who you are that rock that you can just walk outside and just pick up and, with no effort. It's easy to find a rock with no effort because you like everybody else. But when you know who you are, when you remember who you are, you know who you are, and you apply that in how you go about your life, with how you walk, with how you talk. You understand? How you just go about living life. That's what makes you a ruby. That's what makes you actually something greater than a ruby, something greater than a diamond, something greater than gold. Mind you, what did the Most High God say that he was going to make men more valuable than gold? What did he say about a virtuous woman is more valuable than a ruby? Now, rubies are pretty freaking rare. I mean, gold is pretty expensive. A ruby is pretty valuable as well. You know what I'm saying? But we are more than all of that. But you know what? That is only so. A woman can only be virtuous if she's following the law, statutes, and commandments. A man can only be more valuable than gold if he's following the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Gets put for that. So like gets put through that fire of adversity. You understand? Gets put through that fire of adversity. Man comes out finer than pure gold. Be treasured more than pure gold. You understand? This all starts with us just remembering who we are, then knowing who you are, and applying who you are. You understand? All right, let's go ahead and get that. The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19 and 20. Right? He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Now, this lets you know, man, in itself, the Most High God has given us something that no other nation has had, no other family on this earth has ever been given, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what separates us from everybody else. This is what makes us finer than pure gold. This is what makes us more valuable than rubies. You understand? It's simply having the laws, statutes, and commandments. But of course, having the laws, statutes, and commandments is useless if you don't know who you are. Because, and I'm explaining how and why, right? She's become the Christian church. Now, the Christian church doesn't follow laws, statutes, and commandments. But there's those fake Israelite camps who try to include Africans, who try to include the white man, who try to include the other nations, period. Well, if you just follow all statutes and commandments, then you can come, come pay tithes. You're a Christian church. You're Christian. You understand? We know in the ISUPK that these laws, statutes, and commandments was given to only us, to be kept by only us. You understand? While we're in this oppression, man, what reason do we have to teach somebody else the laws, statutes, and commandments when they're not being oppressed? The so-called white man, the so-called African, the so-called Asian man. Y'all can say that the African is freaking oppressed. What y'all don't realize is in Africa, they doing it to themselves. They're doing it all to themselves. And with the China takeover, the China taking over Africa through the infrastructure and whatnot, again, they did that to themselves. Nobody put a gun to their head and signed a contract. But you know what them Africans did do to us, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? What they did do to us Israelites, they did put a spear to our neck. So get your ass on that boat so I can sell you to that white man. They did do that to us. You understand? That's the difference. That is the difference. Nobody forced them to sign that infrastructure deal with China after World War II. Africa had an opportunity to sign it with the United States. It would have been the same thing. Ultimately, it would have been the same thing. America would have done the same thing to Africa that the Chinese is doing now. But they wanted to go with China. And China is coming to collect. Why doesn't Africa have any money? They won't even allow their own people to have food. So when we say that we are oppressed, we're not oppressed by our own people. You understand? You could take Oprah Winfrey. She's still oppressed by the white man. She got all that money. She is still oppressed by the oppressors, period. Not just the white man. She don't have the same type of voice. She don't have a real voice against the so-called Asian man. She don't have a real voice against, the African man. That's why her ass was trying to go over to Africa, go build schools and whatnot for them. You got all these issues here in America, and you want to go choose Africa? How does that make sense? That makes zero sense. This is a land of opportunity. Yeah, an opportunity for us to build ourselves up, to build each other up. You understand? That is the only thing that I agree with America. And you see it within the ISUPK. We are the land of opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to build ourselves up as a nation. You understand? For the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It is an opportunity. You understand? Can we do it in the UK? Yeah, but guess where the majority of us are? Guess where the majority of us are trying to get to? Everybody wants to come to America. The land of opportunity of building up our nation, building up our people is here in America. You understand? And don't get that twisted with me saying, oh, America is great. No, all I'm saying is this is the land for us to, what is that? Zephaniah 2:1, I believe it is. I'm actually going to pull that. Right? I believe is it Zephaniah? Yeah, Zephaniah. I always get it mixed up with another book. Let's see. There goes Zechariah. Oh, there's Zephaniah right here. Yeah, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. you trying to tell me that the nation of African peoples are a nation that are not desired? You're trying to be like them. You desire to be like them African booty scratchers. You desire to be West African. You desire to be how do you say it? Congolian. You desire to be from Congo. You desire to be from Egypt. You desire to be from Nigeria. You desire to be from all these African countries. But nobody wants to be a nigga in America. Nobody wants to be a nigga in America. So how is it that these African countries, Africans as a whole, is a nation that's not desired? Now, mind you, this is the Bible we're reading from. The Bible just told you that these African booty scratchers is not desired. It's not a nation that is not desired. You understand? But you black men here in America, y'all know that while you're sitting here talking about some support black businesses, let's, black this and black that, blackity, black, make sure that we include our, our African roots. Let's not forget where we come from. While you're doing all that, nobody in Africa or even the Africans in America is saying, let's support black-owned businesses. Where do you hear that? Where do you see that? You don't. You know why? Because these other nations don't want to support us. These other nations don't want to see us rise up. These other nations don't want us to remember who the hell we are. Because the longer that we are in this limbo, this hell and limbo that we are living in, they're allowed to live in their lusts. They're still allowed to put their heads in the asses of cows. They're still allowed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. They're still allowed to poison the atmosphere in the waters. They are still allowed to live their lives by lust. And you know what's funny is I just remember that one thing that I had forgotten. I got sidetracked with earlier, right? Because when Yahweh Shah Mashiach in the Hebrew or in English, as the world ignorantly knows him as in Jesus Christ, when he returns, he is going to rule this earth with an iron fist. In other words, now everyone has to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead and be a homosexual, dead. Go ahead and be a pedophile, dead. Go ahead and eat shrimp crab, dead. Off with your head. Man, y'all ain't coming to play. He ain't coming to play patty cake. He ain't coming to kumbaya. He ain't coming to ride on a unicorn with rainbows coming out of the ass of the unicorn. You understand? And everywhere the unicorn step, there's just daisies and sunflowers and all these beautiful. Man, that is not what Christ is returning for. I pray that y'all understand this. And of course, this is also something that we can go back in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21, where we started the class with, prove all things and hold on to which is good. If y'all have to challenge, if you feel like you need to challenge anything that I had just said, all you gotta do is just post it in the chat, question it. That's what these classes is for. But you know what? At the end of the day, I know what it is. It's because a lot of black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans, vast majority, I'm generalizing, right? In school, particularly like public schools, and we was always afraid to raise our hands. You get laughed at. You a nerd. You a geek. Because you want to learn. Man, don't do that. Leave that shit behind. So like my father was big on that with me. Like, yeah, I'm a nerd. Like my video games and hell, you want to talk to me about some goddamn Star Wars, I'll talk your ear off. But you know what? I hold on to that. I'm prideful in my nerdy geekiness. I don't give a damn. Because you know what? I'm not afraid to raise my hand and ask about what is important. You understand? It doesn't even matter the things that you are into. you know what I'm saying, as far as, like entertainment and whatnot, who cares? When it comes to you learning who you are, to edify yourself, to remember who you are so you can be on the right hand side of the Most High God, man, y'all need to be asking these doggone questions. Y'all need to be, you understand? I can't stress that enough. Y'all need to be asking questions. I remember when I first came, when I relocated back to Vegas, and brother above me, I ain't gonna say his name. I ain't gonna air him out like that, but man, he still used to get a little, not upset with me, but just like, God damn, man, like you always got a freaking question. There's nothing wrong with that. The scripture says, just to paraphrase it, and we're gonna get this last scripture and end it on this, right? But the scriptures say to wear out the doorstep of your teacher, man. Wear it out. Constantly, man, knock on his door. Come to him for answers. Get your questions answered. You understand? It is imperative. It is important. It is imperative to your life, to your health. Because you can only get so much of a pass for so long. I'm not the one who judges and dictates how far your past goes. But hey, just know with how everything is unfolding right now in the world events, I think it's pretty safe to say that, man, everybody's time is wearing very thin. You understand? You better make sure that your election is sure. You understand? Make it be known that you know who the hell you are through your actions. You understand? So now we're going to pick up. We're going to go to. So we're going to drop that Psalms. We're going to go to the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 9. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 9. We're going to read this and wrap it up. All right. Book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which have not obtained mercy, but now have attained mercy. You understand? Like, man, this is literally talking about you, Black, Hispanic, Native American man. This is talking about you to the fullest. Because ain't nobody else has been in the condition of, hell, Lord have mercy on me and my people, but haven't gotten it. We are the generation. We today are that generation. The children that we are raising up today are that generation. You understand that these two verses are talking about? But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. We are a royal priesthood today. You understand? And holy nation. We are a separate nation. A peculiar people, man. We special. You understand that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Ask the brother. Now you come to the Passover next Friday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. I almost said New York. In Raleigh, North Carolina. Man, ask. Man, sit down. Have a drink. I challenge y'all with 5 different priests and officers of the Lord. And lead your conversation to, man, what kind of darkness did you come out of when you came into this truth? What darkness did you give up to be in this truth? You understand? Ask them. All the walks of life that we came through, man. This right here is talking about us today. You understand? Verse 10, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God. So before, man, we weren't a people. Most High God wasn't calling us a people because we was heathens. We was disgusting, doing whatever the hell that we wanted. But now we are. You know, we are the people of God. That's why we're gathering together April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina for the Lord's Passover. It's not my Passover. It's not your Passover. It's the Lord's Passover. You understand? Which had not obtained mercy, but now obtained mercy. Before we wasn't obtaining mercy. I wasn't getting no mercy. That's why I always felt like I couldn't catch a goddamn break. But now that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I know, life is still, life in the white man's world is still difficult. But now, like, I know I got mercy. Life, man, this shit can be way worse in this oppression. It could be way worse. But because I'm receiving mercy from the Most High God, a lot of things, too many things are being alleviated because I trust in the Lord and I know that the Lord has my back and I'm not afraid of any enemy that decides to rise up against me physically or spiritually. Hell, even financially. So like it. You understand? I know at the end of the day, the Lord has got my back. Always find a way because of that. You understand? And it all is because I remember who I am. And I refuse to forget it. Of course, my children, same exact thing, man, it will be embedded into them. Unlike how it was for me, my children will know before they even come out their diapers that you know what, that the world is not for them, but this Lord is with them. You understand? All you need to do is always remember who you are and never forget to stop being obedient to the Most High God. So with that, Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh brought a thumb to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Elatub Hashem Yahweh to the sisters. You understand? This is ISUPK, Center 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, in the community of Ghana. This is the Tuesday Brotherhood class out here in Las Vegas. You understand? I'm preaching Officer 500 of Rock. Don't forget, April 1st. You understand? Raleigh, North Carolina. Be there. It is the Lord's commandment. You remember, you've been taught. We ain't finished the class now. You understand? We ain't finished the breakdown. We're going to pick this up from where I left off next week. Right? That's like not next week, the week after. You understand? I'll be driving out to North Carolina next week. Leaving on Monday. You understand? Do not forget that the Passover, the Lord's Passover, is a commandment. Remember who you are and do not forget who you are. And remember that a commandment for you to attend a certain day, a certain place, April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina. With that, class dismissed.